Hello, good evening. It's 9 p.m. time for the English news. The headlines of this Sunday are the President of the Parliament in tour in the region of Lakasal. On the regional scene, the business for the African Forum underway in Egypt. Those were the top stories. Welcome to our newsroom. The President of the National Assembly, His Excellency Mohammed Ali Hamad, has moved with a strong parliamentary delegation outcome of a three region, namely Arta, Dikhil, Tejora, in the locality of Lak Asal. The objective of this tribe was to challenge the population following the attacks, losses perpetuated by the army, criminals, and narco control in the barracks of Gendarmerie of Lak Asal. The President of the National Assembly has urged the latter to take its responsibilities each day in ensuring the security of their sector and to ensure the peace and stability that prevails in our country for a memory. The President of the Republic, His Excellency Ismail Margele, has initiated several projects in this sector and these in the areas of various as the port, social housing, the road, and so on. He recalled that the population must unite to meet this kind of barbarism and the collaboration with the forces of the order to destroy this army and operate loosely in our territory. Remember that the delegation of the parliamentarians who move has shown fully its noble mission, that is its responsibility as intermediate and between the population and the government.
In his speech, the President of the National Assembly, Mohammed Ali Hamad, has urged the population of Lak Asal to take its responsibility in ensuring the security of their sector. As you know, he said our country is in security, but there are terrorists who want to disrupt this stability of our country. That's why I'm asking you today to mobilize against these terrorists. These criminals want to sabotage the development project underway in our region. We must all work together to search for the aggressor, and we also must work together to ensure that this kind of aggression do never produce again in the future, has concluded the President of the National Assembly.
A ceremony for the inauguration of a new building intended for the consultation in medicine in general, pediatric and surgical operation took place this morning at the hospital of Balbala, who sees its mean and in the infrastructure is enlarging or expand. More information in this report. A ceremony for the inauguration of a new building intended for the consultation in medicine in general, the pediatrics and surgical operation took place this morning at the hospital of Balbala, who sees its means and its infrastructure in enlarging and expand these new poles of a consultation in general medicine, surgery, and pediatrics offers a capacity of 170 beds in totals. A medical personnel and technical support has been trained and recruited for the good functioning of this new medical pole. This new post medical surgical was baptized on the name of the former and deceased political leader Muhammad Ahmed Isa. Muhammad Ahmed Isa has also held the function of the Minister of Health during the presidency of the first head of state of the country, Hassan Guled Abtidon. It has been fully funded by the Italian government, and this in the framework of the bilateral cooperation and links to existing friendship between the two peoples. In the framework of the protection of the environment and innovation, the water following from all the air's foundation of this hospital center will be retrieved and will be used to the gardens of the medical center. 2 tanks have been planned for the recovery of this water will happen through a pipe network specially designed to do so. The Minister of Health, Dr. Qasim Issa Osman, and the Italian ambassador, Mr. Giuseppe Mistretta, have led to the inauguration ceremony. Several other ministers have taken part, including the Minister of National Education and Professional Training, Dr. Jama Al-Mauki, the Minister of Budget, Bode Ahmed Bode, the Minister of Higher Education and Research, Dr. Nabil Muhammad Ahmed, the Secretary of State responsible for the National Solidarity, Ms. Zahra Yusuf Qayat, the Minister in charge of the advancement of women, Hasna Barkat Dawood, and other parliamentarians, the President of the Chamber of Commerce, Mr. Yusuf Musa Dawali, the President of the Coming of Balbala, as well as the personnel of the Department of Health. The Director General of the Hospital of Balbala welcomed the opening of this new center, medical surgical. The Minister of Health, Dr. Jama Al-Mauki, stressed for his part that this achievement honors the promises made by the President of the Republic to the people of Djibouti in the area of health coverage and medical care for the population of Balbala for emergencies. The health infrastructure are multiplying as well as in Djibouti. Dr. Qasim Ishaq Osman, he said, "It is a great honor and a real pleasure for me to be here among you today for this event. In effect, we are together in this day of 21 February 2016 for an event as long awaited by the citizens of the Coming of Balbala, and more particularly since July 11, 2012 date with the President of the Republic, His Excellency Ismail Margila, has laid the first stone of this new Pole Medical Surgical Hospital of Balbala. As we recall, the Director General of the hospital, initiated in 1985 by the Italian corporation, always imposes as a goal of the health response to the needs of the population. Also, I thank His Excellency the Ambassador of the Transmite to the Italian people, all the gratitude of the people of Djibouti.
The work of the National Day of Entrepreneurship closed yesterday at the People's Palace under the high patronage of the President of the Republic, His Excellency Ismail Omar Guelleh. These 2 days of work were intended to encourage young people to create their own company. It was to put in place and coordinate the action to promote and facilitate the creation of enterprise of young. These 2 days of work have been a focus on the studies of the fundamental issue, not only for implementing but also for the socio-economic development. Several departments, namely the Ministry of Economic and Finance, the Ministry of Labor in charge of the reform and the administration, and the Ministry of the Higher Education and Research, have been the initiator of this National Day of the Entrepreneurship. In addition to this, the department institutions such as the Chamber of Commerce of Djibouti, the University of Djibouti, the National Agency for the Promotion of Investment, the known as the INAP, the Background for the Economic Development of Djibouti, the Office of Djibouti for the Protection of Industrial and Commercial Matter, known as the ODEPIC, have been invited to this day of reflection on the promotion of the creation of micro, small and medium size enterprise. Debate and discussion rewarding and fruitful took place at the Palace of the People during these 2 days of work, and have result in the signing of a convention between the different institutions.
On the business, we are here to gather you. We give you at lowest interest compared to the other bank or other institution that give loan. So we are here for you, and we are here today for the young Djiboutian who want to build their own business.
A meeting of the consultation between the Republic of Djibouti and the European Union on the policy component, economic partnership, the regional situation, the preservation of peace and security was held this morning at the Diplomatic Institute. More details in this comment. This meeting was led respectively by the Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, Mr. Mahmoud Ali Yusuf, and the Ambassador of the European Union, Mr. Joseph Silva. This is less for surrounding by several other European ambassadors in position to Djibouti. This consultation meeting fits in the framework of the agreement said the Cotonou Agreement signed between the European Union and the countries of Africa, Caribbean, Pacific, which established the major principle of cooperation between the parties signatories and which speculated that an improvement of the parties and environment policies, the respect of human rights, the rule of law, and good management of public affairs are the conditions essential for any progress and development. The ambassador of the European Union, Mr. Joseph Silva, is for its part to welcome the holding of such a dialogue in Djibouti, which remain a pole of tolerance in the war marked by a rise of extremists. The Minister of Foreign Affairs has indicated that this discussion take place without any a priori and that all questions are open to the debate and discussions, including the prospect of the forthcoming holding of an important electoral maturity to which stripped the government for it to be organized in a very good condition. This consultation meeting is complete by the perfect understanding to work together.
A meeting of work is unfolded yesterday evening at the Kempeski Palace Hotel of Djibouti. More explanation in this report.
A meeting organized by the IOM has brought together, on the one hand, the government of Djibouti, represented by the Director General of the National Security, Mr. Hassan Said Khaire, and has is renting the Director of Bilateral Relations in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Mr. Gele Tirsa Umar, as well as the Commander of the Kasugar, Mr. Colonel Umar Abokore, and on the other hand, an important mission of donors for the refugees who are in Djibouti. The meeting was organized for the purpose of exposing the problems which are confronting the government of Djibouti for bearing these scourge that affect the war, foster and develop exchanges, and meeting between the international mission and the government of Djibouti was also at the center of discussions. Let's recall that the challenges linked to the migration are challenges that affect important areas and various such as the security development, humanitarian assistance, and the protection of the most vulnerable and the health areas. The young people of Sheikh Musa have organized a large popular demonstration in support of the President of the Republic for a new mandate in 2016. Civil society was largely present by the whole of the Association of Sheikh Musa. The objective of the evening was also focused on the popular awareness to preserve the unity and peace and for social cohesion between the different communities. The stakeholders has the gallery have thanked the President for having agreed to a candidate for the new mandate and have asked the participant to take all the provisions to elect the President with a wide scores in the ballot. During the evening, the representative of the young people of Sheikh Musa have promised to the strengthen to meet and exchanges of this kind in order to strengthen social cohesion in our country. During the course of the intervention of the representative of the youth of Sheikh Musa were also called as all and strengthened to meet their civic duty and removing now their voter card from the office of the prefectures.
A conference debate has been organized this morning in Badr Jadid by the Union of Young Balbala. This ceremony has brought together several from different neighborhood and sector of Balbala. Let's recall that this youth Union of Balbala is composed of several associations of young people. They have a mission to make a balance sheet on the need of the inhabitant of Balbala. This Union of Young People of Balbala bring together young people who are slide their idea in order to participate in the development of the country. The debate was a very constructive, very instructive, and the union aimed to increase of socio-economic activities and to assume some sort of a stain of citizenship. Took part at this conference debate the vice chairperson of the Union of the Youth Balbala, Ms. Khadija Ibrahim, and the Secretary General of the UGB, Mr. Bahdon Jama Ilmi.
The Association for the Protection of the Most Disadvantaged and the Orphans of the region of Ali Sabih, in collaboration with the Ministry of Health, has conducted free consultation for the monthly consultation in the city of Ali Sabih yesterday morning. This operation took place at the headquarters of the party in power, RPP, located in the center of the city. Since the latter was coordinated by the chief of the places, Mr. Muhammad Ibrahim Saeed, the caravan of psychiatry in the General Hospital Peltier has conducted on the spot of the consultation for some 60 patients, which this association in question there previously purchased all the medicine of their order. Specifically, since a period of 4 years following 5 medical visits of the different periods. In addition to these, 15 others mentally ill, which many epileptic, and have benefited fully from this offer of consultation and granting free of necessary medicine. Remember that the young Asajog executive of the National Administration, chaired by Mr. Hassan Idris Samire, do not hesitate to make a generous financial contribution for the purchase of multiple drugs prescribed to all these people psychologically and affected to the varying degrees. This last has promises to supply of the all need for medical treatment for a period of 2 months. In addition to that, an acknowledgement of this asset was placed in the administration by Omar Hassan Dide, head of the association, has not failed to say human consideration and professional people, individual for the most disadvantaged and from families with a modest income who therefore cannot count in the solidarity of the family. Note that this day has unveiled the true critical need in care, follow-up and medical treatment of this category of the population delivered to itself because of the lack of state structure offering a real relief. The latter, the Association for the Protection of the Most Disadvantaged and the Orphan, has been able to demonstrate of the humanitarian and demonstrating where a real need.
And in Tajura now, the Association for the Development of the Region of Sagalu, led by its chairman, Mr. Dileta Sultan Muhammad, has organized the free day 19 February 2016, a day of cleaning and of the village of Sagalu. The purpose of this day was to rid the village of Sagalu debris of plastic and bits of scrap, and a vast operation of collection of garbage and cleaning has started within the primary school of Sagalu, then on the border of the beach, on a large part of the village, with a massive participation of the inhabitants. In the margin of this operation, the member of the ADRS meet with the whole of the Ukal of the village to collect their grievances. The president of the association thanks the notable the director of the school for their warm welcome and all the people who have been actively involved in the operation of cleaning, in commending them for their ensuring involvement. He thanked also on behalf of the association the president of the authority of Poor and Free Zone, the director of the fan of the Habitat, and the responsible person in the company, Sharp Transit, which have contributed to the holding of this day. On his side, Mr. Muhammad Shehim, Secretary General of the association, expressed and explained that the IDRS will not be limited to this activity and that the program of the association is broad enough and to all the communities of Sagalu. In its document, the president of the council, Hassan Hussein, thanks the association and congratulates for this initiative.
Today, Sunday, 21 February 2016, the Association of Sanabil Al-Khair has proceeded to the distribution of food aid to some 300 needy and families in the town of Arta in the presence of the prefect of the region of Arta, Mr. Abdullah Dara, of the president of the regional council of Arta, Mr. Umar Jama Adawa, and the national parliamentary, Mr. Yusuf, and members of the Association Sanabil Al-Khair. This donation of food aid is composed of 25 kg of flour, 25 kg of rice, 6 liters of oil, and finally a boxes of milk of Danu. This donation of food aids fall within the framework of the solidarity and the support of poor families. Finally, the beneficiary warmly thanked the Association of Sanabil Al-Khair of these generous gestures.
The Association for the Development of the Region of Sagalu, led by the chairman, Mr. Director Sultan Muhammad, has urged this Friday, 19 February, day of cleaning. The purpose of this day was to rid the village of Sagalu, debris and plastic and bit of scrap. A vast operation of collection and garbage and cleaning has started within the primary school of Sagalu, then on the border of the beach, and a large of the part a massive participation of the inhabitants. In the margin of this operation, the member of the IDRS meet with the whole of the notable of the village to collect their grievance. The president of the association thanked the notable and the director of the school for their warm welcome and all the people who have been actively involved in the operation of cleaning. In commending them for their unswerving involvement, he thanked also on behalf of the association the president of the authority for in prison, the director of the fund, and the responsible person in the company. They have contributed to the holding of this day. On his side, Mr. Mohammed Shahim, secretary of the association, is expressed himself he will not limit to this activity and that the program of the association is broad enough and to all the communities of Sagalu. In its document, the president of the council, Hassan Hussein, thanks the association and congratulates for this initiative.
Our artist Isse Haroun Group, member of Mako Egla, has reached a concert that requires an evacuation in France, which he will undergo to a treatment of Germany. To these all Djiboutian artists mobilized to help your artist act and father of 7 children. To this effect, we could welcome the reaction of Isse Haroun as well as the Djiboutian artists. Recall that an account of solidarity has been opened to the bank BCI Red Sea and the number of account is 0055 452 and 001 and 2 and 1.
We regret to announce the death of the late Mariam Waberi Assowe, which have left behind her 7 children and 30 small children. She was the sister of the prefect of the region of Ali Sabih Muhammad Waberi Assowe and the wife of the late Usman El-Tiri Wa'is. May God grant her in his eternal paradise. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un.
In the regional news now, the Africa 2016 Business Forum opened on the Saturday morning in the Egyptian resort city of Sharm el-Sheikh. 7 African leaders from Kenya, Nigeria, Gabon, Equatorial Guinea, Sudan, Ethiopia, and Egypt are on the forum. Saeed Mohammed for more details.
The African leaders' bankers vote at an economic summit in Egypt Saturday to push for trade and investment on the continent despite the growing threat of terrorism in the region. The forum was graced by the presence of the Ethiopian Prime Minister Haile Mariam Desalegn, Nigerian President Muhammadu Buhari, and President Omar Hassan al-Bashir of Sudan, among others. More than 1,200 delegates, including some heads of state, were in talks to sign business agreement during the 2-day summit at the Red Sea resort of Sharm el-Sheikh, aimed at attracting private sector investment. The forum was voted to push forward trade and investment in our continent to strengthen Africa's place in the world economy, said the Egyptian President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi in the opening remark. He continues saying the conference aimed to present also investment opportunities in Africa and open a direct channel of communication and cooperation between African businessmen and overseas investors. He told the attendee that achieving development is one of the main challenges facing Africans, which require developing the mechanism of joint actions. During his remark, the Ethiopian Prime Minister Haile Mariam Desalegn has emphasized the significance of the events organized by Egypt under the umbrella of the African Union Commission. He said, "The forum will provide great opportunities for Africa to take advantages of the opportunities available in the continent." The Prime Minister also reiterated Ethiopia's firm stance toward equitable utilization of Nile's water for mutual benefit of all riparian countries. Addis Ababa is committed to achieve sustainable development and utilization of the Nile water for the benefit of everyone and all parties, he said. The Declaration of Principles signed between Ethiopia, Sudan and Egypt in Khartoum shows Ethiopia's commitment to mutual cooperation and the promotion of confidence for the entire Nile Basin's development, he added.
In Libya now, the U.S. officials say it's likely that a senior ISIL commander linked to the major attack in Tunisia last year was killed in her streak on Libyan soil that destroyed a suspect training camp run by the self-styled Islamic State early on a Friday, said Mohammed.
More than 40 recruits died in the bombing, according to reports quoting sources in the area. The base at Sabrata, west of Tripoli, was linked to Nuruddin Shushan, also known as Sabir, a Tunisian blamed for attacks in the Bardo Museum in Tunis and a beach resort near Sousse, which left 60 people dead. "We took this action against Sabir and the training camp after determining that both he and the Islamic State fighters at these facilities were planning external attacks on U.S. and other Western interests in the region," the Pentagon spokesman Peter Cook. "As you know, this is not the first time we have taken direct action in Libya or against high-value Islamic State targets, and it may not be the last." Senior ISIL fighters are said to have recently moved to Libya from Iraq and Syria. Libya has slid further into chaos since its former leader Muammar Gaddafi was overthrown 5 years ago, with two rival governments operating, backed by rebel factions of former rebel brigades.
And to finish this edition, David Cameron has called for his referendum on Britain's membership of the EU to take place on 23 June after the cabinet formally agreed to campaign to say in despite several ministers openly supporting Brexit. More information with the following videos.
The British Prime Minister David Cameron has made his historic announcement in Downing Street after briefing the cabinet. He said he would be campaigning to remain in a reformed EU and described the vote as one of the biggest decisions in our lifetimes. Ministers immediately divided up into the Leave and Remain camps as the campaign got underway. The referendum date announcement comes after renegotiation on the UK relationship with Europe were finalized on Friday night after intense wrangling at a two-day summit in Brussels. The agreement, which will take effect immediately if the UK vote to remain in the EU, includes change to migrant welfare payments, safeguards for Britain financial service, and make it easier to block unwanted EU regulations. Some Conservative MPs have announced their intention to back the Prime Minister. The Labour Party, the SNP, Plaid Cymru, and the Lib Dems are also in favour of staying in.
This is it for tonight's news. Thanks for your attention and do stay with us.